my guy. Who's excited to hear from Ronnie today? Throw something in the chat. If you guys don't know who Ronnie is, or as his official name is Ronald, it's just weird to call you Ronald, Ronnie. You're a Ronnie.
I hate it. Yeah, I'm a Ronnie. I'm
Ronnie.
Italian through and through.
Yeah, my guy. How you doing?
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Guys, Ronnie is one of the coolest dudes in Pinnacle. It's not even close. If you spent any time around Ronnie, man, like his energy is absolutely palpable. You can feel it. Dude throws down on the leaderboards. He's recruiting. He only recruits studs. Like Ronnie, you're doing so many things the right way. Had to get you on a call so you can talk about how you view this business, what you're doing inside this business, and share some knowledge, share some wisdom with the rest of the crew. Dude, we talked a little bit earlier today. You just hit a year, right? You're a year in the game.
Yep. You're in the game.
Yeah, you pretty much land between 40 and 50K on your own pen on a month to month. But your team is rocking. You guys are on pace to have your best month, your biggest month ever this month in September. Looks like about 130, 140, 150, depending on how the chips fall. You've been building for about 6 months. So you're coming on strong on the team building side of things. Dude, I just want to kick it off and say I appreciate the value that you've already been adding. And dude, when you see someone like you, it's obvious you're just heating up. You're going to go on a real heater here in Q4, and blessed to have you, bro. So Ronnie, give us just a little bit, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes on your background. What were you doing prior? How'd you find Pinnacle? And like, what has been your first year, if you could sum it up?
Yeah. Just to give some super quick background, I've had sales experience for about 5 years. Was doing car sales straight out of high school when I was 18. Great experience. Got to see every single type of character and learn how to actually talk to people. And then I decided to leave everybody I ever knew, moved to Arizona, got into a tech startup position, and then after that was doing in-person remediation. So analyzing property damage, walking into residential and commercial buildings, and pretty much just doing some blue collar sales work. Um, I was getting paid peanuts, honestly, and I was closing like 80%. And I was like, okay, there has to be a better vehicle where I can use my skills so I can actually be paid accordingly. And then one of my friends, Zach from the gym, he reached out and we started talking about insurance in general. And then I was like, cool, I'm fully on board. The next week I was on my way to Chicago. I was supposed to be there for about a week, and then it ended up turning in about a month and a half, just locking in. And my mindset was like, if I'm making money and if I'm producing, then there should be no reason why I shouldn't be here. And I think my first deal was 7,500 AP, so that was definitely like, oh, okay, this is real. So
It's
that's
real.
kind of my basics.
Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. I want to let Paul and Mikey ask you some good questions here. I know they're chomping at the bit, but I want to make one more comment before Paul kicks us off. I'm talking to Ronnie earlier today, and I'm like, "Yo, how was your weekend? What's going on?" He goes, "Dude, I'm excited. I'm moving into this new apartment complex in Scottsdale." He told me about the complex he's moving into, how cool it is, et cetera, et cetera. And he goes, "Dude, I'm really excited, not just about the new spot, the new digs." He's like, "But every time I get like a change of scenery, like a change in anything, proximity to different people, it gives me the ability to reset mentally and level up." And Ronnie, how old are you?
24.
Yeah, bro. I don't think I figured that out until I was like 30. So like your mindset is so locked in, bro. It's just really cool to see, 24-year-old killing it in so many ways. And dude, like you're not taking your foot off the gas. Like you're looking to double down, triple down, and blow this thing out of the water, which is what everybody should be doing. And you have that dialed in at 24, bro. It's very impressive. Paul, what you got for Ronnie here?
I mean, dude, first of all, congratulations, man. What a first year. And I think for anybody that's on here, like this is going to be a very impactful value providing, session we've got today with Ronnie because for a lot of people, they want to be in your shoes, a year into the business. They're like, man, I love my first year to look like that. And what I found, Ronnie, to be true is that when I can find someone that's gone before me and they could say, step here, don't step here, do this, don't do that, it just expedites the process so much faster. I love the saying that you can turn decades into days when you have time with somebody that's already gone the way forward. And I believe that everybody on here, I just would say, don't just have this be a call every week where you hop on because it's in your Google Calendar, which it should be, but have it be a call where you get on and you expect to hear something that's going to shift and change your whole trajectory of your business, because you might be just one call away with a guy like Ronnie that's gone out there and crushed it his first year, that gives you a perspective shift that sets you up to go out there and do that. The question I've got, Ronnie, listening to just kind of your background, you've already provided great nuggets, dude. And if somebody didn't catch it, just in your kind of setup of how you got in this business, talking about your level of commitment, right? Like a lot of people say, I'm committed. I'm gonna blow this thing up. I'm gonna insurance. This is the vehicle. This is why I've not gotten to where I want to go in life. And maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it's an identity shift. Maybe it's a mindset shift. Maybe it's a level of commitment that they have to not just say it, but they got to show it. And you showed that by moving across country, moving back. Like, you weren't scared to do the things necessary to actually earn the right to live in the lifestyle that you've developed the last 12 months. I believe a lot of people, they want to go out there and say they've got Ronnie's results in 1 year, but I don't believe a lot of people are willing to pay the price and have the commitments that Ronnie had. And so, dude, if you can talk about, maybe some of the greatest mindset shifts, identity shifts that you had being so young that led you to go out there and making these commitments to sacrifice to go out there and do what you've done.
Mm-hmm. I think it directly ties into books, for me at least. A lot of philosophy, a lot of stoicism. And one of the biggest things is success like speed. So if I can destroy the time of buffer between when I make a decision to when I've decided, that just allows me to move quick. So, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to do insurance. Awesome. Now I'm going to do everything I need to do to be successful in that, or whatever that looks like. So for the Chicago example, I mean, yeah, of course, you don't know if you're going to be successful in this industry. You don't know if it's going to work out, who are your people that you're going to like, or this and that. But all you can really do is focus on you and build your skill set. So that's all I was really focused on.
What
Just
are some,
shifting
like,
that.
what would be like a great book that you believe kind of help, like, be a catalyst to that shift? Is there a book that you could spotlight or point to that really kind of help you elevate your thought process?
I would say the best book for micro improvements is Atomic Habits for me. I think it was James Clear. I don't remember the exact author, but that definitely helped with micro habits. And then on the bigger scale of abundance, I actually have to give credit to my girlfriend. She definitely helped me have a more of an abundance mindset. She was in real estate. And so she was doing some bigger deals, and she didn't know if she was going to be successful in this and that. And I just saw the way that she was moving. And I was like, wow, she has no idea what's going on, but she has trust and faith that it's all going to work out. And it's those little things like waking up daily and you know what, I'm going to have a good day. You know what, I'm going to enjoy the little things. I'm going to stop and smell the roses a little bit. I'm going to make sure I'm talking to every single client to the best of my ability. And if that client told me to F off, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call the next one, and I'm going to give the next client the best I can give. So it's like the micro stuff.
I love that, man. I mean, I think two big points that you've already talked about is association, for one. Like, and that's through, for one, a book. You're getting the best of that person. I feel like most people that are producing at a high level that have built a big business, if you ask them what's your personal growth plan, they're not like, I don't know. Like, they know what it looks like. They've got a regimen where they're developing themselves day in and day out. They know that they've got to think different to get to a different level in their life. And so I absolutely love that. And then even the association, with your girlfriend and being able to be inspired. It's like the whole iron sharpens iron, concept, but also getting somebody around you that can speak truth and love. Like, I'm pretty confident she's not sugarcoating stuff with you, right? Like, she's got probably a candid conversation. I feel like that's something important. So anybody that's on here, I think a couple of notes already is like, what's the association look like for you? Who's the one person that if you spent more time with them, it would help elevate your thought process and perspective? And who's the one person that you can minimize the time you're spending with them that would help elevate your thought process and perspective? And so that's a big deal. And then also, what books are you reading? What's your consumption look like? Because when you get squeezed, what comes out is what you put in. And so when you get the, hey, like you said, F you, like, you're like, whatever, like, you put so many good things in, your response is slide on over. I've got another family that's actually going to care enough about their family that when they raise their hand, they actually meant what they said, which is I want to protect them. And so your response is different opposed to, well, it was me, maybe this doesn't work, these leads aren't any good. So your response is a successful response, not a negative one. I love that. I mean, I know that the last couple weeks we had, people on your team that were crushing it. And so it's not just like you're doing it, but you've also helped others do the same thing. Like, what's been something that you put in place that's really allowing these agents to start fast and go out there and see success pretty quick? Like, what's something you're doing within your organization to kind of help aid that?
I think that one thing we're really good at in the Arizona office is creating systems. We pretty much have a blueprint laid out, and there's no reason why you shouldn't hit 15K your first month if you're following every step, if not even more. As well as the training that I provide specifically, I feel like what I do has worked. I mean, I bring my guys in, and even if they're hypothetically not contracted, I will give them leads to rip and dial. And while they're waiting for their contract, so they have that 2 weeks that they usually would have to wait. Now they're on the phones. Now they're getting reps. Now they're using my leads. And if they close anything, then I'll cut them in on commission as well. And then so that by the time that they have had their contracts come in, now they have reps where they are able to not be super fragile on the phones, and they have some money in their pocket where they can buy their own leads, as well as I'm in their ear every single call pretty much. So for the first 5 to 10 calls, I'm right there with them, or one of my other leaders right there with them where, oh, say that, nope, say this, put them on pause, do that. And I tell them to say exactly what I say verbatim and do not deviate. And then they do reps of that over and over and over, and then they just start clicking.
Dude, that's
That's
so
more
good.
for a newer agent.
That's so powerful. I remember reading this book called Outliers, and it talked about, and it kind of inspired me when I read this book because it talked about how if you put 10,000 hours into practice or 10 years, you'll become an expert in whatever you're doing. And I remember reading that and looking at the vehicle of insurance, right, in this industry, and thinking like, okay, that's great, but what does that lead to? Like, if you're an expert in a situation or a career, what's the expert get paid? And I remember at the time, Ronnie, I was pumping septic tanks. I was just getting in the insurance business. And I was like, if I'm an expert pumping septic tanks, like, dude, they don't get paid that much more money. Like, they're pumping crap. Like, maybe I'm better at not getting it on me. So I don't have to, like, deal with that throughout the day. Like, what does an expert really look like? But in this business, man, an expert is multi seven figures. An expert is significant impact with a bunch of people that they've helped go out there and find success for themselves as well. Like it's so good. But I remember reading that book, and it gave me hope that, like, no matter how bad I am today, if I just continue to do the right things, I'm eventually going to be in a blessed situation. But it talked about how if you're with somebody and you're coaching them while they're actually doing the activity that they're trying to become an expert in, it builds myelin, which is that white substance, in your brain that neurons create when they fire against the synapses. It says it builds it so much quicker. It's like expediting the process in condensing the time frame. If an expert like yourself says, "Hey, don't say that, say it like this, repeat it," and so I mean that's beautiful, man. I think it definitely serves people and serves people well. And so if anybody's on it like, well, I don't have somebody in my office that's doing that. Well, Discord will help out. You can hop on different chats and stuff like that. Make yourself available. Everybody wants to help everybody, but it definitely is a big deal. Ronnie, you talked about Atomic Habits. I think that book, for one, it changed my life. It was powerful, and just knowing how to create habits and how to destruct bad habits. What's a non-negotiable, a discipline, a habit that you've got that you believe is the most impactful for your career and where you're at in this business?
I would say the most impactful is consistency. And what I mean by that is if you're going to tell yourself you're going to do something, that you're going to show up at a certain time, you're going to dial these amount of leads, you're going to talk to these amount of people, or you want to get X amount of closes, then you have to either back engineer of what that takes, or you have to just stick to the routine until you build up your skill set where you're able to get to the X amount of goals. I see a lot of guys come in and they want to be successful and they say this and that, and then they show up at 10, 12, or have a 4 hour day. I'm like, dude, you're not even putting your inputs. So a lot of my agents have shifted from the creating oh, I'm going to show up at this time, to no, I'm coming at this time, I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be talking to X amount of people, and just being consistent and showing up every single day. Because a one-off, like, who cares about a one-off? That's not going to do anything. It really depends on how dedicated you are, of how consistent you are.
Mikey, what do you think, bro?
Dude, I love that. I was going to ask you because Ronnie, I met you in person. You definitely have like an aura and a confidence to you. So I was going to ask that. That was honestly my question. It's like, do you think your confidence comes from the skill, or it comes from keeping the promises that you make to yourself? And you just answered that. And I think that's such an important thing in sales. And people wonder why they're not getting the results maybe they want, or they don't have the confidence they want, because they're not keeping the promises to themselves. Ronnie, one thing I think, and I don't know you too well, but I've noticed about you from just following you on social media and stuff, you seem to have kind of like a clear vision of who you are in the future that you want in your life. Talk about how important that is, because, you know, you're what, was this your 5th month, 6th month in insurance?
First full year, and then 6 months of actually building a team.
6 months of building a team. Okay. So like to have that level of clarity, because I truly believe that the people that make it big in sales and make a ton of money, that build huge teams in sales, they just have a lot of clarity of who they are today and where they're going in their life. So just talk a little bit about what you do for like actual goal setting, visualization, and just building that foundation of who you are. Because it's like, you're Ronnie Mairs. People like, you got a little bit of a swagger to you. So talk about that, because I think it's the individuality of the confidence of being who you are and knowing who you are, which gives you the confidence to get up every day and grind. Because you know what, like, let's use money for example. You post on your close friend something good. I like that. But it's like, you know what you want to do with the money. Like, it's so clear for you, the vision for your life. So just talk a little bit about that and how that drives you to show up every day and do the inputs.
Yeah, I think before even getting in insurance, the confidence comes from other things. But just to align myself with insurance, I had to do some deep work. I really had to sit myself down and really have a raw conversation with myself of, what do I want to see for myself in my next industry? Do I want autonomy? Do I want the freedom of this? How does my day should look? Who do I want to look up to? So it's aligning yourself with the industry, and that specifically, or this specific industry, worked for me because this was everything I wanted and what I was looking for. So in my head, it wasn't a job. It was literally working on myself. Every day I get to work on myself. And then confidence can also come from multiple different factors. It doesn't have to be just from insurance, or you did a banger day, or this and that. It comes from other things, for me at least, like a physical win, a mental win. Did I learn something today? Did I take a piece of that person's characteristic and apply it to my life and help me adapt and evolve? Did I have a banger day? Did I go get some sunlight and have a steak? Did I hang out with my friends that I love to see? It comes from multiple different sources. So it's like, if one hypothetical source of happiness isn't working that day, or it didn't get me scratch my itch, I have multiple different categories. So in my head, I really don't have bad days. I mean, it's just it's having multiple different sources, put simply.
Yeah, I love that. So it's like something might lack in that day, but you know, as long as the others made up for it. And dude, I think that's beautifully said. And I can tell, you know, I've been following you a little bit on social media recently. It's like, you have your routine dialed in, you go to the gym, you do your things, you go out on Saturdays, you have your fancy dinners that you enjoy and you work hard for. So it's like having the clarity of your life of who you want to be. Like it's your hierarchy of values. And I think what I see in you is like, you have a very clear understanding of your hierarchy of values, and you act accordance to that. And that's where your confidence comes from, where it's like, I don't know it, but I imagine like health is the pillar, and then wealth, relationships, and then obviously enjoying your life, because you're still young. So you want to have the freedom, the adventures, and, you know, still be able to live a bit. But yeah, dude, what do you do as far as like goal setting or visualization? It's like the clarity, because you're obviously working towards something, because you have a ferocious work ethic and drive. So it's like, where does that clarity come from? Are you writing your goals down? Are you conversating with your girlfriend about it? Are you conversating with your friends about it? Like, where does that kind of spark get revitalized for you?
I would say I definitely talk a lot with my peers, and it's actually with a lot of people outside of the industry that aren't in insurance, because I feel like I surround myself around people who are killing it in multiple different facets of life. And that's what I take inspiration from. And I definitely have a goal, as in, it's hard for me to say because I don't have like a 5 or 10 year goal in my head. For my perspective, if I just grind as hard as I can and keep the gas, or pedal to the gas as much as I can, then I'm going to reach X amount of result. And I think it's the lifestyle for me. I like living a really nice lifestyle. I want to be able to wake up when I'm 50 and have a villa in Italy or Spain. And hey, babe, do you want to go take the kids? Okay, cool. Private jet or something crazy, you know? That's just, it seems cool. And I don't want to think about money. I don't even want to have to even have to think about it at all. I wish I could give you a better answer. But I do have financial goals, as in this quarter, I want to at least net 50 every single month after everything. So that means probably I'll have to do, either it depends on team volume and personal, but I would like to net 50 every single month. So that's where my short term. And then I'd like to grow my team as big as I possibly can and help as many people as I can. As it's cool when you get to produce at a high level, but then that kind of gets boring for me. Like, you already know you can do that. What's really cool is bringing in people and changing their lives, or having them be in a W-2, and now all your friends are 1099 and you guys get to travel the world together and hang out, and he's making $500,000, he's making $500,000, and everybody's happy. Like, that seems more cool to me. Making money is cool, but making money with your friends is even cooler. So I think right now I'm on a kick of bringing in a lot of guys and showing them this lifestyle, because I'm living the lifestyle that I want to live. It's only just going to keep increasing. And if I can bring on and duplicate more of me, that would be awesome.
Dude, I love that. You're curating it, dude, through the business. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like the work-life balance. It's like, dude, it's all in one. You know what I mean? It's like a changing your mindset. I think a lot of people look for the work-life balance. It's like, dude, curate your lifestyle around your business. Your business is your life. It all is in unison. If you get to work with your best friends, it's an absolute blast. Dude, you obviously have really high level people coming in. System in Arizona, it's obviously working for people their first 30, 60, 90 days. But talk a little bit about like expectations, because one thing that when I got into insurance, I heard this stat. It was super interesting. It was like 2% of people actually end up making it. I think at Pinnacle, we do a lot better than the average IMO. But talk a little bit about like the expectations that you set for a new agent coming in, because we have over 100 different agencies inside of Pinnacle. So it's like, what is the expectations that were set to you, and what expectations you set for somebody coming in? Because I truly believe that setting the right expectations could be the make or break of somebody's success early on, because it might get hard, right? Like, they might bagel, they might go 1 to 2 weeks without making money. They might write a few policies and it charges back. And it's like, if the expectations aren't there, they're going to fizzle out.
Yep. I think being very raw with whoever you're bringing in with is essential, because if you set proper expectations right and it doesn't work out, then you've done your job, because you've told them exactly what's going to happen and what it's going to look like and what they need to do to reach X result. I would say it's tailored slightly differently for everybody, but on average, I'm saying you're doing a 12-hour day for your first at least 3 months, where you can build your skill set. Because I believe in the first 3 months as an agent, your learning curve is going to increase exponentially. And my goal is to differ that time from, right now I suck, I don't know how to sell a policy, to now I'm doing 30K, 40K a month by myself. I don't need you, Ron. So it's creating that blueprint for them. And what that blueprint looks like is 12 hours a day. We're giving them leads to start. At least I'm giving my guys at least 2 to 3 weeks of leads to start. And then once they get past that, they're buying their own leads, which I'm telling them each specific state or specific 3 month, 6 month, year, whatever it may be. And then it's contacts. It's looking at their skill set, because everybody has a different skill set. So hypothetically, let's say somebody needs X amount of dials to reach X amount of results, but that person over there needs half of that because his skill set's better. So we would tailor it slightly differently. But on average, I would say $350 a day, about 30 contacts. Out of those 30 contacts, you're probably going to be able to present to at least 20 or 15-ish roughly. Out of those 15, you're probably going to close like 2 or 3 realistically as a new agent. So that's like the expectation. Obviously depends on lead flow and this and that, but it's just building their skill set as fast as possible, and also leaning on the other leaders. And it's really easy when I have guys like Cruz, even Ian, Thomas, when they're all just absolutely ripping, doing 20K weeks consistently, and that is what they're focused on, it makes it a lot easier.
Love that. Do you think, I remember, I forget how long ago it was, but last time we were in Tampa, you had like your record breaking week, right? Kind of shifted the paradigm of what's possible. Do you think that was like now you're not really, I don't know if you are or aren't, but I don't think you're selling quite as much at the high clip because now you're training, you're building your team, you're getting those guys to do it. How important do you think it was for you to have that breakout week and just set the paradigm and shift the standard of what's possible to now get, now we're that, people are averaging 15 to 20K weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's essential. You got to show your guys what you can do. You got to lead from the front as a leader. Any leader should be writing. And I wanted to show my guys what a real lock-in week looks like, because I had a lot of new agents that week that haven't seen it. And I missed my old self of just not even focusing on everybody and just focusing on me. I pretty much set expectations that week of like, yo, I love you guys, but go to another leader. I'm going to be locked in. And I was pretty much from, I think like 6:30 to 7 every single day. And I was just hunched over at the computer the whole time. But that's the fun energy of lock-in week. And I think it was required to show everybody what was possible, at least on my team and for myself. And then for some reason, I don't know why, but everybody started producing after that. And that definitely comes from a lot of other things too. We have some great trainers in the office, but yeah, it's definitely good to lead from the front. I think it's essential.
Love that. Got anything else for him, Paul?
Dude, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking like, Ronnie, bro, it's gonna be so big for you, bro. I mean, I can see it, and I think your vision is so good that it's got me seeing what you're seeing, right? And I think that's the ultimate sign of a leader and a great producer is that your clients have to really see your vision of serving them, helping them, the value that you're providing them, and that's where you take on this persona where it's like it's not about you, it's about you serving them. And if the client can see that vision that you've got of yourself and the way you approach this sell of life insurance and the value behind it, it's massive. And I think it's the same thing as a leader, man. When you can have a big enough vision where people can fit into your vision, that's what people want, man. Like when I'm a part of anything, I want my vision to be able to fit into the vision of the company, the family, the organization, whatever that is a vision big enough for me to fit my big vision in as well. And I just kind of have these two thoughts, man. I have this thought of like, you've done a great job in visualizing and knowing what framework you want your life to look like, and also strategizing. And I think those are the two things that everybody on here today is ask yourself, like, how well have you visualized? And then the second part is how well have you strategized? I think those are two essential things to go out there and build something that's worth building. And, the other thought I had, Ronnie, is like, dude, you got, like, as you've talked today, there's no question, like almost every response you've got, it's kind of tied back to your why. Like you've got such a big bag of reasons of why you're doing what you're doing. And for me, let me ask you this, Ronnie, have you felt like in your life that there's been times where you're not as focused on why you're doing what you're doing? And can you draw a direct correlation to those times being times where you've also not seen the results that you want and you've not really brought out the best in you? And then when you conversely, when you've got clear reasons and you're thinking about why you're doing what you're doing, do you see the best brought out of you? Have you seen seasons in your life where you can kind of point to that exemplify both those things?
Yeah, I think everybody has seasons and everybody has phases. As you get older, you get better at recognizing those and how fast you can pop into that. Like, oh, okay, this is grind time. I need to put the pedal on the metal. Or let's say you're at the end of your season where you're really burnt out and you do need that reset and you need to go recharge. You need to first analyze what it requires for yourself to recharge. That could be Netflix. That could be going on a walk. That could be going on a vacation. Whatever that is for you, it's finding the micro recharges like every day. For me, it's the gym or going to the sauna. I'm glad that's my recharge. Makes it easy. But sometimes, yeah, I'm big on versatility. I need a vacation. I need to have my fun time with my friends. I need to not talk about insurance. I need to lock back in on the office. You know what I mean? But to go back to your earlier point, yeah, everybody has phases. And as you get better at analyzing them, you're able to essentially Lost my train of thought there. What was the first point that you made?
Well, just like how your bag of reasons is like, I feel like
Mm,
it's so heavy that it keeps you rooted in being all in when you're all in. You know,
yeah.
like you're not it's not hard for you to sacrifice because like you know why you're doing what you're doing. And I wonder, like for me, there's been seasons in my life where like that bag is lighter, and that could be because I've hit and accomplished things that were in that bag, and so they've kind of been taken out, so it's not as heavy to keep me planted and doing the best I can do and being the best I can be. And I guess the question is like, have you seen that kind of connection as well? Like when you're really focused on why you're doing what you're doing, is it easier to show up early? Is it easier to pay the price when you've got that bag really heavy and full?
hmm For me, it's via reflection. Whenever I'm in a slump, I always reflect back to where I was. Because in a year ago, I was in a different spot. 5 years ago, I was in a completely different spot. And it's being humble enough to recognize that you're in a way better position and you're doing so much more. But it's also being ambitious enough where it's like there's so much more to get. There's so much more people you can interact with or help, or people like Jonah and Joe, where you can see the blueprint where they're doing 10 times you're doing. I'm like, okay, cool. Watch this. Let me go do that.
I love that, dude. I mean, I think that's the ticket, right? Like you're content, but you're also driven. And I think that's the place that we all should be living in, is you're content in the fact that like you are a lot further than what you used to be. You've made some progress, you've made movements forward, but also you've got this desire to know that, this isn't where you're supposed to be. There's more levels before you. And then asking yourself, what's going to help me get there? Like, why does it matter? And I think for you, Ronnie, as I listen to this whole conversation, man, like it's just crystal clear. Like, you're like, I want to be able to have a place in Italy. I want to be able to have fun with my friends. I want my friends. And I was the same way, dude. I was like, dude, if I want to, it sucks being the only rich person. Like it's so
hmm
fun, dude. Like you want to help other people, become wealthy, and then you could go enjoy life with them, right? And I mean that's a great reason to so into people. And so now when you're like sitting with a new agent, like you're more like, man, I'm gonna help this person get to a level. We're all gonna go enjoy nice steaks together. We're all gonna enjoy some great things together. But even like going back to the virtues as well, like you're crystal clear on how you want to become a more virtuous person. Like you want to bring out the best values in yourself and characteristics. And I mean, you've alluded to that a couple times, just like getting around different people and like picking up characteristics and stuff. And I think that at the end of the day, like that's the bag of reasons. So I think everybody on here today, the question is like, how big is your bag? It's not just I want to go live in Italy. It's not just I want to spend time and have the autonomy to do what I want to do when I want to do it. It's not just the values and in watching myself progress and become a person that's more virtuous and that has better characteristics. It's all of those. And so I guess the question is like, maybe you're heavy in one area, but you're not really chasing the discipline because that's not a virtue that you've really tied the right amount of payoff and how it's going to change your life if you are more disciplined. But if you could ask yourself, what does that discipline characteristic lead to? Then all of a sudden you start to unpack the vision of your life. Well, now it becomes a lot more heavier and it becomes something you can stick in that bag of reasons. So man, phenomenal stuff. I mean, like so good, Mikey. Great questions. I mean, I got a page of notes from what you were saying, Ronnie. I mean, just excited to be in business with you, bro. Like what we need is more people thinking like you, driven like you, and I want to go out there and make a big impact. And I just believe that I've never seen a company like Pinnacle before that's got this many people that are wanting to go after these new levels and next levels in their life. So I just appreciate you and who you are, what you stand for, and what you're going to do in this business, man. So thank you for joining, brother.
Appreciate you, Paul. I'm excited to meet you in person.
I am as well, dude. Hey, are you in Chicago?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Are you coming up on October 22nd?
I'll be in Italy.
Okay, well, enjoy Italy, bro. We'll record it for you. But next time we've got an event, dude, I definitely want to have you come up and speak from stage because, dude, the value you just provided was second to none. And so excited to see the how God works through you, man. It makes a difference through your life and the lives of others that join your team and join Pinnacle.
Thank you,
Joe,
brother.
what do you think?
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Ronnie. You killed it, brother. Thanks for bringing
Peace,
some
bro.
value. Talk to you guys soon.
Of
Let's
course.
See you guys.